Switch to Verizon Business and get more from your internet without paying more for your internet. Get LTE Business Internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data, and with it, unlimited possibilities. Start saving today with Verizon Business, ranked #1 in small business internet customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Starting price for 25 megabits per second LTE internet plan with smartphone plan savings, plus taxes, fees, and economic adjustment charge. Terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
We became friends. She helped me out. I helped her out.
Together all day long
We
working?
were together for hours of a day. You know, I really liked her. I liked her boyfriend. I liked her daughter. You know, I didn't think that she would do something like this.
This is the plaintiff, Sarah. She says she's an independent massage therapist who makes homemade remedies for the skin, and she shared a rental space with the defendant. The woman abruptly kicked her out one day, causing her to lose a tremendous amount of business, and there's no way she's going to allow her to get away with it. So she's suing for $1,964.99 for loss of business. This is the defendant, Carrie Cohen. She says this whole lawsuit's ridiculous, and the plaintiff's making a mockery out of the whole situation. It was the plaintiff who decided to up and leave without notice. She was dumbfounded because she went to great lengths to help the single mother out, who turned around and called the cops and even accused her of stealing her money. Bottom line, if anyone is owed money, it's her. She's accused of rubbing a woman the wrong way. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $3,000 for loss of rent and revenue.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Sarah, you've asked us not to mention your last name or your company name.
Correct.
You are suing Carrie Cohen. You've asked us not to mention your company name for $1,964.99 for loss of revenue, rent, and some products that you say your former landlord destroyed. You are counterclaiming against her $3,000. You say you're actually out $9,000 for lost wages, lost rental, and various other things, including defamation of character. Okay, ladies, let's have at it. What happened?
I entered a business relationship with Carrie back in November.
Okay.
February 26th, I give Carrie my 30-day notice.
Okay, hold on. Let me find out what the business relationship was.
Subleasing office space.
Subleasing office space. And what kind of place do you have?
I own a medical spa.
And you're at your medical spa, you do what kinds of things?
We do facials, microderm, chemical peels, cosmetic injectables, Botox, and Juvederm.
Okay. And then you were renting out space in order to do what?
Massage.
Okay. How much were you paying a month?
$320. My rent was due on the 15th of every month. And then Carrie switched it to the 1st as of February and raised it to $400.
Did you have a written lease?
It was a verbal agreement.
All right, and then what happens? So when the rent was raised, you decide you want to move?
No, not at all. I was looking for office space since I knew I've always wanted to expand. I was just starting out somewhere small, just to get my feet in the door.
So what day did you give her notice?
February 26th.
And you gave her notice that March would be your last month?
I gave her my 30 days notice that March would be my last month, yes.
All right. And did you pay March rent?
I did pay March rent on the 27th.
And then what happened?
On February 28th, about 9 o'clock at night, she sends me a text that she wanted the keys back and told me not to return, and then texted me the alarm code has been changed.
Why, though?
She said I was soliciting business for over a month. Still, it makes no sense to me.
No, but what did she think you were, what did you think she was doing?
So what happened was She gave me notice on, I think it was February 27th or 28th.
Okay.
I saw her Facebook post knowing that she's going to a spa down the street, which is totally 100% fine with me. But then I do skincare. She's still in my office for a month. I thought it was a little
What
premature.
was she advertising on her Facebook?
Skincare and massage. I have that also in my evidence.
Herself? Because she was going to do skincare?
She changed her business name.
Show me what it is that
okay.
made you that angry. I want to see it.
And she promised me she wasn't going to do any promotion of skincare whatsoever.
Okay, when did that happen? Promise me she wasn't going to do, because typically we have a way to handle this.
Right.
And, you know, it's handled when people are business partners, or when people are, when you don't want this to happen, you have a written contract with each other with a non-compete and
Exactly.
specifics, but you don't have any of that, do you?
I don't, but just out of respect, I thought she wouldn't do that.
I
As a
understand what you're
friend.
saying, but you understand that those are two different
I
issues.
understand
right?
that.
I am so excited to share this good news with you all. Not only do we have a name change, but we are expanding and relocating. There is now more than one massage therapist, classes, life coaching, and skincare, plus so much more. Check it out. So the words skincare on her Facebook made you feel that she was advertising the skincare of a business that is a competing business that is down the hall, down the road. So you felt that that was
a month premature.
inappropriate.
We were friends. Like
Were you friends?
We were friends working through the office. I really like Sarah.
How long did you work at the same office?
Since October, but like we became friends. She helped me out. I helped her
You were
out.
together all day long
We
working?
were together for hours of a day. You know, I really liked her. I liked her boyfriend. I liked her daughter. You know, I didn't think that she would do something like this.
Okay.
You know, I really didn't. A month is fine.
So
for
what
me.
you did then was
I
you...
tried contacting her. I have the text message thread, like 35 pages. She would not answer her phone. I said, Sarah, I really don't think this is going to work out. I said, I really would. I'll give you back your March rent. I just want my keys back. She would not give me back my keys back.
Okay, let me see the text thread.
So here you go.
He comes over to her boyfriend. She sends her boyfriend over to your place.
Back to the skincare.
Okay.
I've sold my skincare products in her spa since
Soaps.
October.
Just stop. Stop.
There's soaps. I was featured in the Emmys last year. I did 1,000 home remedies, body treatment, skincare, mud treatments. So this skincare that I have at my new center, that's the skincare that she's upset about.
Okay, but in any event, in your answer to the complaint, you say she always promised she would give me notice. This isn't notice. How much notice was she supposed to give you?
She did promise me. I did have a doctor, which I'm not mentioning his name, and I came to Sarah with this. I said, I have a doctor that does want to rent a space from my spa 3 days a week for a lot more than Sarah was giving me. I didn't.
Well, that's one of the things you're suing for, right? You're suing for several $1,000s.
Exactly.
$7,700 because
would've-
you made a bad business decision that you now regret. And
Because
you rented it to a person paying $320 instead of a
I
doctor
actually
who was
like
supposedly
Sarah.
willing to pay you $700.
I
But
like Sarah. That's why, and I felt like
that's
yeah.
fine. Well, how does that convert into a legal obligation for
question.
someone to pay you $7,700? Tell me what happens that night, though, because after all this back and forth, at some point she has her boyfriend go to your house.
Yes,
And he was coming for the purpose of what? Collecting the keys?
Collecting the keys in exchange
And
for my rent.
returning
Yes.
the rent. And when he gets there, what does he do?
He does not have my full rent.
Okay, and how do you know? But you've already called the police at that point.
Because she said she already changed the alarms.
Okay, here's what I don't
I didn't.
understand. Apparently, you're under the impression that because you're the leaseholder, you can change locks on a sublessee.
I do have a lawyer. I didn't realize that I had to give every employee of mine or even a
She's
leaseholder.
not. Stop.
Or a
You don't have to
leaseholder.
give any employee access.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. She's not your employee.
A leasee.
That's right. That is night and day.
Even if
no,
I was
don't
giving
talk.
back the
Listen.
money?
Night and day. If it's an employee, change the locks, fire them, and do whatever. But if it's someone who's paying you rent, you have created a different situation. That is a person who now has the protection of the law as a tenant. And one of the protections of the law as a tenant is that if I'm paying you rent, you can't change the locks on me. And you got to give me notice if you want me to get out. You can't just decide I've betrayed you because I'm moving on with my life. And then the police are there, the boyfriend comes over, what happens?
The police, we came to an agreement because he didn't have my rent that next Monday.
No, wait, what did he have instead of the rent?
It was $300 and something.
And why?
Carrie said I owe her for 2 gift cards that were purchased, but I will always honor any gift card.
Okay, now, you had purchased gift cards?
No, I didn't purchase it. My sister's mother-in-law purchased a gift card for my sister for her birthday for $35 for a massage.
Okay, now who are you to decide that she doesn't still want the massage at the place down the block?
My sister's not going to go to her down at the block.
Her sister had an appointment. She didn't come.
Come on, that's like common sense.
I know, I'm with you, but here's the thing. I know, but here's the thing. I need proof from you that someone is demanding their money back for that, for the 2 coupons. Do you have an affidavit or something from them?
I just have an email from her saying that.
Do you have and that's good. Let me see the email.
That's what I was trying to tell you. Yeah, let me get it for you.
So what ends up happening? Boyfriend comes over. He's deducting that money. You don't want to accept it, and then the police officer says, "Everybody go home because this isn't working."
We come to an agreement to meet the following Monday to exchange the belongings and get my belongings.
Okay, so what happens on that Monday, which is March what?
It was supposed to be March 4th. Then
Right.
I got a text at 2 o'clock in the morning. I got a couple texts, Carrie calling my valuables not valuable, my belongings not valuable. Then the next morning I went to a text that said my belongings are outside, so anyone could take my products, are outside along with $124. Carrie said she deducted the lock change and 2 gift cards at $35 each for my rent.
What?
I never said, I don't send text messages at 2 o'clock
right
in the
here.
morning. I'm
Okay,
asleep.
let me see the text message. Draw that. Thank God I'm able to move into my new place tomorrow instead of waiting until April 1st, given I have over 90 appointments till then. I still had to cancel 13 appointments. Again, I'm willing to walk away from all monetary damages if I just get my rent and belongings back. I understand you may feel like a sit-down is in order. I would rather move forward and wish you nothing but the best, but leave it at that. I think you kind of felt offended about that, right?
Because I tried. I really liked her. And I did send her $400, but she never cashed it.
She sent me a check for, it was like $177.
That's the check that she sent when you wouldn't meet with her and talk?
Yes.
She sent you a check for $100 and what? Why?
Minus the $187.25 for the lock change. Because
You illegally lock her out and you want her to pay for your illegal act?
I didn't know it was illegal.
Oh my
She
God,
sent me-
you got some hubris. Oh my gosh. Now let's go through what you're suing for and then we'll go through what you're suing for because I want to make sure I get all of the testimony about each of those things. The first thing you're suing for is $1,356 loss of estimated massage revenue. 20 patients at an average of between $25 and $125 each. How do you propose to prove that?
Yeah, I have, here, wait. And then the breakdown.
What ended up happening, I understand the March rent claim, $13.99 for a mud pack treatment and handmade soaps, $200 or $195.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
The next morning, when I get that text that all my belongings are outside, so anyone could take.
So you changed the locks and put her belongings outside?
Definitely not. There's a corridor and there's 2 doors. One door I left open in the corridor because I was going away Thursday evening at like 3 a.m. So it was basically Friday morning at 3 a.m. I left open. I sent Sarah a text message saying I left all your belongings in the corridor, which is a
In
closed
the corridor? Who has access to
hallway.
the corridor?
She did because
Who
I left
else
everyone.
has access to the corridor?
Everyone does.
Nobody, because we shared, it's an office building. It's a 2-floor office building. It was us and an eye doctor, and he's never there. And that's
Okay,
it.
so the stuff is out there, and what's the problem when you go to pick it up?
Everything was dumped on top of each other. I had a basket of probably 30 plus essential oils. The handmade soaps.
So how are they damaged, though?
The oil was spilled over, patchouli oil.
Do you have a picture
rosemary.
of that?
I don't. She said my money was going to be there. I believed her. I did have a police escort me over there. But
Wait. What does that have to do with this stuff? You already knew that she was going to be dumping your stuff in a corridor, whether it's a private or public corridor. So if you want to claim in a lawsuit that you're entitled to ruined 195 handmade soaps, which I assume are in plastic covering, I need to see that they're ruined.
I threw out. The only one that I saved was within these 2 bags were filled with dirty laundry. She threw my products in with the dirty laundry. This soap was in one of them and it has hair on it. There's my TENS units, just everything.
Okay, let's talk about your counterclaim. You are suing for $3,000. $225 is lost wages, $25 an hour for 9 hours. Explain that.
I work somewhere else for a prominent plastic surgeon in Short Hills. But on that note,
Are you referring to today for being in court?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
now, defamation of character. Tell me about that. $500 for defamation.
She posted on Facebook that I am uncontrollable, unstable, and emotional. And so it's really hurtful. And I could not believe she was suing me after I decided to wash my hands and send her the check for $400. I said, I worked too many hours. I worked too long. I sent her the $400 and it wasn't good enough.
Right, because you sent her the 400 after first sending her 320, and then after next sending her 180 or whatever. So what's the date on the check that she sent for
400?
318. She sends me a 316. She sends me a text that as of 3 p.m. that day, my belongings were going to be outside by the building next to the dumpster.
Why haven't you already picked up your belongings, though?
She asked me that one day at 9 o'clock in the morning. My daughter gets off the bus. I sent her on the.
But that one day was when? March what?
It was Tuesday. It was March. It was the week I was moving in. I was purchasing furniture. My truck was. I even have a picture of my truck.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Do skincare products really work is the question.
I believe so, yes. They hydrate your skin.
Do they really?
How
much do you spend on
I
it?
don't use it. I don't spend a lot. But if I don't use it.
Fair enough. Do they work? You're too young to know that. Do they work?
I don't think so. I don't think they do work. Because if they did, I wouldn't have so many different kinds in my closet.
Do you know, by the way, what they're saying is the most effective skin preservation cream?
I don't.
Do you?
I have no idea.
Oh my God, I can educate you guys. You ready? They're saying sunscreen is the best thing. They're saying sunscreen is the best thing. I'm 92. Look at me going inside the courtroom.
Why didn't you just go pick up your belongings, especially when you know that there's all this bad blood? Why are you leaving them there for another week?
She still had my rent. The officer,
Well, no, but you want your rent, so
Right.
You also can't have your cake and eat it too. As to the products you say are destroyed, for you to be able to collect on products you say are destroyed, you have to be able to prove that they're destroyed. All right. I guess you have one soap that has hair. We're going to call that
have
$5. You're on your counterclaim.
Yeah, okay.
For $3,000 that you say you're out $9,000. Okay. Your lost wages for having to come to court today. You're losing in court. So why would you ever get compensated for your time? But also that is not a compensable expense because what is this?
It was a mud pack. It's a layered mud pack, and it goes on the back, and you put heat on it. It's not supposed to be crumply like that. That's the way I got it back.
$14 for the mud treatment. Okay. You are suing for $1,356 in estimated massage therapy revenue. And I asked you, give me a list of the patients and exactly what clients and exactly what they were set up for. And you then said, okay. And then something shiny passed in front of my face and we talked about other stuff. Yeah, but okay, these are just figures okay. Okay, I got it. This is where we do a little rough justice. That's what this is. As to your estimated lost revenue, you do not have a right, as we've gone over multiple times, to lock out a tenant. You don't get to say, I hate you, you've hurt me, so now you can't come in there. Good try if you want to say that, but then it costs you, not her, when that happens. And when you turn around and do that, if you don't have a legal right to do it, she's got a lawsuit for the patients that she couldn't see for several days, so she got her act together and found another place. That's a righteous lawsuit. Now let's talk about, I'm going to award you $1,000 for lost revenue on the massages. Now let's talk about the March rent. She had paid you March rent. You were supposed to pay her back March rent. You didn't cash the $400 March rent. You owe her the $400 for March rent. And then defamation of character and massage services paid and never received for my sister and the spa patient.
She called my landlord to warn her about me.
Did she really?
I should be suing for defamation of character.
In front of
Did
the
you
police
call her
officer.
landlord?
In front of the police officers that I called.
Why did you do that?
Because he told me I had
Okay,
every right.
let me just tell you something, okay? You are a fascinating individual. I mean it, I'm not being sarcastic. If your salon was near my house, I would go to it.
A lot of people go to
I know, and I would go to it because if I have to sit somewhere for 2 hours, I want to be entertained. And I want some passionate person like you to entertain me. But you are so misdirected and so wrong about the law, I cannot begin to tell you. Everywhere you turn. You don't need to be a lawyer. You need to be a businesswoman. And that is the point of my speech to you. You need to divorce passion from business. She's not your boyfriend. She's just a renter. And you need to divorce. Every decision you make, you need to stop and breathe. If you just breathe, you would probably make the right decision, maybe. But if each time you up the ante in the illegal, inappropriate, wrong thing you're doing, it's gonna cost you. And today is the first day of you learning the lesson that it's gonna cost you. As for your defamation of character claim, the comments about you being unstable, emotional, whatever else. I don't think that that rises really to the level of you collecting in court, that she posts on her Facebook page an opinion about you. The massage service is paid and never received from my sister and spa patient. I can't even explain why, but I am going to deduct your sister because that's just too much. The other spa patient, you don't really have.
But what about the girl who?
No. The answer is no. Okay, so here we go.
I understand that.
Let's figure this out. When I add the figures that I said up and then I deduct the $35 for her sister, I come up with the following: $1,384, verdict for the plaintiff. That includes the $400, so hand back that check, which we'll hand back to you. We'll have it all in one judgment. Good luck, folks, and goodbye.
All right, full cycle on, please.
And so with that, the defendant comes out of this courtroom here on the losing end of this case. Come on in here a little closer. You understand this ruling?
I don't think I'm a loser. I just stated the facts and the truth, and I just don't think the judgment was fair.
No,
But
why not?
You
realize you treated the tenant certain illegal ways.
In my opinion, I did what I had to do as a small business owner, and I still stand behind everything that I said.
So is it Botox and stuff? Is that what you do in your
All cosmetics.
All cosmetics. Do you use that stuff too?
Of course.
Botox. Do you have it right now?
You want to come in?
Yeah, do I need it? You think?
Everybody.
Do you
can
have
use
it in
some.
there?
Yeah.
Can you move your eyebrows? All right. Head right down this way.
All right, ladies, right.
All right. So come on in here. Are you satisfied how this comes out?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Well, what went wrong with her? She says you were supposedly friends at the beginning.
Capital C, capital R, capital A, capital Z, capital Y. I knew from the moment I went in there, I needed to get out of there.
So you make all your own potions and stuff, and like oils and
oils, soaps.
You can change
remedies.
the viscosity on these things if you want.
Yeah, I can. Just home remedies, treatments for eczema, psoriasis, stuff like that. Yeah.
Harvey?
Defamation is something where it has to subject the person to scorn and ridicule, and they have to suffer damage. Simply not the case here.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Tic Tac. Summer tastes like Tic Tac. Tantalize your taste buds this sunny season with citrus adventure and orange. 2 everyday flavors that bring summer in every. Tic Tac Citrus Adventure is a yummy, vibrant medley of lemon, lime, and mandarin. And Tic Tac Orange is the perfect mix of tangy and sweet. Visit us at Tic Tac USA on social to refresh your summer with Tic Tac.
This is the plaintiff, Yulia Poznikovskaya. She says she agreed to lease a 2013 Infiniti, and the defendants, so-called auto brokers, took care of making the deal happen. After her temporary registration expired, the dealer told her she couldn't get a permanent one because the defendants hadn't paid them for the car. Turns out the whole deal was a fraud, and she wants her $2,400 back from the defendants because she has a beautiful car in her driveway that she can't drive. These are the defendants, Joseph and Daniel. Daniel says he and his brother own a leasing company that brokers cars from dealerships. They found her an Infiniti, and the woman still owes them $600 on her initial down payment. They tried calling the plaintiff several times, but she just kept yelling she needs her plates. They have her plates, but she needs to pony up the $600 she still owes. It's as simple as that. They're accused of stalling a deal. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $5,000 for harassment and possible identity theft.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff agreed to lease an Infiniti, but says the deal was a fraud and she wants her money back. But the defendants say they're legit and she owes them money. It's the case of From Here to Infinity.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. Yulia Poznikovskaya?
Right.
Okay, you're suing New York Exotic Leasing, represented here by Joseph. You're the owner?
Yes.
You're so young. And, you guys are the brokers. Okay. Joseph and?
Daniel.
Daniel. Are you two brothers?
Yes.
Okay. For $2,400 that you paid for a car that you cannot drive because you don't have the tags, you are counterclaiming against her $5,000 for harassment. Tell me what's going on.
I found the car. Actually, I found the deal on the website. So I called this company.
And what was the deal that was advertised on the website?
What was the deal was $330 per month for 24 months leasing. Okay, I called them. I negotiated for this price, and then they brought the car to my house. I paid them with certified check for $2,500.
What was that? That was the money due at signing?
Yes, it was the money due to signing.
How much did you pay?
I paid $2,400 by certified check from Chase
Can I
Bank.
see the paperwork for the sale of the car?
Yes, sure.
She says that what was due at signing was $2,400.
No.
How much was due at signing?
$3,038.
Do you have different paperwork?
No, we have the same paperwork.
Can I see your paperwork?
Actually, he was supposed to have it. He was supposed to bring it.
Who was
in.
supposed to have it?
He's from the dealership. He has the paperwork.
Your Honor, yes.
Yeah. How much was she supposed to come up with?
She says $4,000 total. $3,000 of that was supposed to be up front, and there's $1,000 on a rebate.
Okay, so let's just see if we're all on the same page. She's supposed to come up with $3,000. Instead, you come up with how much?
$2,400 total.
Okay.
Paid.
Why? Why didn't you come up with $3,000?
Because as I did negotiate with them. That's what I told them. They told me they calculated all.
No. But the only contract here you signed says $3,000. So why were you shortchanging them $600?
That's what they calculate me and told me that's $2,400 total.
Okay, and what happened according to you?
We give her the car, give her the keys, she signs everything. She gives me the cashier's check of $2,400. We agreed on $2,400, and she'll give me the rest in a couple of days. And after that, she hasn't been answering my calls. And that's it, really.
Does she have the car?
Yeah, she has the car.
So she has the car, but she doesn't have what? The plates?
She doesn't have the plates, correct, and the registration.
Okay, so how does she take the car?
She has temporary plates.
Whose temporary plates?
From the dealership.
From you guys. Okay, so now the temporary plates expire, and who is the one who actually mechanically gets the new tag? You do?
Yes, because I have to pay for the tags.
Okay, so you order the tags, and the tags come in, and you let her know we've got your tags?
Yes, I can't start the process of getting anything done without receiving the money first. That money was never given to me, and
Wait, what money was never given to you?
The money that I'm supposed to receive in order to get the plates done and everything.
How much money did you get? Did you get anything, or you didn't get the $2,400?
Not at all.
Did you ever pay him $2,400?
No, because
you were waiting for the other $600
Yes,
to give him
correct.
$3,000 to start getting the tag.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, but my understanding is that you have tags here.
Yes, I do.
How did you get tags?
If let me see one of the other documents that says here that whatever business I do with any broker business, I don't get any money, I have to pay for 100% out of my pocket. Yes, that's why I'm here.
Why aren't you suing?
Obviously, I do a lot of business. I don't have the time for it. I knew I was just going to come here and.
Yeah, but you're not a party here. You just come here and say, hey, I want some money too.
I understand.
You have to file a lawsuit.
I understand.
So you are out now. Oh my gosh. So your dealership made you. Can I just ask you a question? Mm-hmm. If you saw that your contract, you agreed to pay $3,000. This is obviously some misunderstanding. Okay. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you just pay $600 so you have a car you can drive? You have a car. You can't drive it. You don't have plates. The plates are here. He's out $3,000. Why don't you pay him $600? You pay him $2,400, and then you can drive your car.
So what's the advantage of using a car broker?
I think that they have some past knowledge on where to buy the best used cars, where to buy the best new cars, prices, all that kind of stuff. You don't have to do it; they can do it for you.
And you may not have the knowledge to do
exactly.
It. Okay, I think he said it all. Going inside the courtroom.
Nobody told me that I owe $600 more. I called him.
Are you telling me that you came here today and nobody's told you that you owe $600 more? You've told her that she owes $600 more.
I mean, and she calls me on the 20th day, the day of the registration expiration of the temporary reg. And she calls me with my personal information. She
says what? This is your harassment claim. What happened?
Yes, she tells me, I have your ID number and your social security number.
ID number being what?
License.
License number?
My license number and my social security number. And she tells me that, she just tells it to me like that, and she leaves it at that. The voicemail, we have it. And she
Let me hear the voicemail.
I get some information regarding your driver license number is 6. Okay, I'm gonna go to the court then and see you soon. And the SSI number is 120. Thank you.
What did she say? I'm going to go to the court and file?
I don't know what you said.
Yes, I'm gonna file the claim the court because he didn't provide their
What, but
service.
you took it as a threat?
I said it's identity theft. How did she get my information? My
Okay,
question.
how'd you get his information?
I just got it from his previous workplace.
Who gave you the driver's license number?
The salesperson.
A salesperson at the prior company that he worked for. What's the name of the salesperson that gave you his information?
Okay.
Do you know who this is?
Yes, I know who it is.
You need to get to the bottom of that employee
should.
handing out your
Yeah.
personal information.
I think that's against the law.
Oh, yeah, you could go through the law. In any event, you're out $3,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have $2,400. You know you can solve this by handing him $600 and then you handing him $3,000 and then you have a car that you can drive.
Yes.
What is the reason that you don't do it? Because you keep insisting that despite what I see you signed in a contract, you don't really owe what's in the contract?
He never said to me or called me, reached me that I have to pay additional $600 more.
I think you're lying.
No, I'm not.
And read your contract. There's your notice.
Okay.
It's right in the contract. Okay? But your lawsuit against him, I rule in his favor. Okay? Your lawsuit against her for harassment, I really expected to see something a little bit bigger and better. It's frightening when someone has it, but I thought that she was threatening to commit identity theft on you and, you know, mess up your credit or something like that. What she says is, I'm going to go to the courthouse. So on your counterclaim against her, 0. That doesn't amount to harassment. But on her lawsuit against you, 0. And now you're all in the same position you were in before. So let me give you a piece of advice. Pay that man $600. No, put your hand down. You're going to pay that man $2,400 because you're not allowed to be unjustly enriched and keep the $2,400. And then you'll be made whole, and then you can give her the plates. If she chooses not to do that, for you to be made whole, you go ahead and file a lawsuit, because you can't just show up and say, hey, I want to join the party. You file a lawsuit against both her and him, so that you can get back your $3,000, okay? That's how it's gonna be. My business, however, is done. Adios.
Well, the judge has done her best to try to clear this mess up for you. What were you trying to get away with here?
I was just trying to get my car registered and to get the plates and drive the car normally.
And if you don't get what you're supposed to get, are you prepared to go to court?
If I have to, honestly, there's a bunch more that I have to go through. But I need the $3,000. I paid for it myself.
Yeah, would you sue her for her part?
I'm not one of those kind of people, but I believe that she will do the right thing, and they will do the right thing to.
All right. Hopefully, head right down this way. All right. So come on in here, and what's your feeling on the outcome here? You have some money that you're not going to be holding on to much longer either.
And I never denied it one time. I always told him I was going to pay him. He always said, let's wait for the court and then let's see what happens.
All right. Now,
so she lost and we won, I'm happy.
You have people giving out your personal information to the public.
And I'm going to take care of that.
You're going to lock that down?
Yes, I am. We're going to lock that down.
Okay. Over to Harvey.
This is a case where there was a total breakdown of communications, and communications is the key in deals like this. It could have been worked out if they would have just simply taken the time to understand each other. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
What does every USAA member have in common? Family. We're one big family who supports the military community and their eligible families. And if you, your parent, or spouse served, you could join our family and save big on auto insurance. Visit USAA.com/join today to check your eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
This is the plaintiff, Rose Hendy. She says she was ready, willing, and able to move into a room the defendant was renting. But at the last minute, the crazy woman backed out of the deal. Now she's having one heck of a time getting the money she laid out for rent and expenses back, and is suing the flip-flopper for that $230 she's owed. This is the defendant, Icoli Bogle. She says the plaintiff must be a little wacky because she was the one who told her she could no longer afford the room because she was beaten up, her tires were slashed, and she was now out of money. The woman's been harassing her ever since, and now this lawsuit? Please. She's accused of ruining a renter's day.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff put money down on an apartment, then was told she couldn't move in, and now she can't get her money back. But the defendant says the woman is crazy. She backed out after claiming she was beaten up and couldn't move in. It's the case of get a room.
It's Rose Hendy. You are suing, pronounce that name for me.
Icoli Bogle.
Icoli Bogle. For $230, $180 of a down payment you put in an apartment, and $50 for van fees to bring your stuff in there and take your stuff out, and for some reason you think she should pay that. Tell me what's going on.
I never thought that someone like Miss Icoli Bogle could have tried to steal from me. I mean, I was introduced to her by a friend of mine. His name is Handy. I lost one of my jobs on November 18th, and I was about to lose my apartment. So I was trying to get a room to move in before I become homeless. So I confronted my friend. He told me Miss Bogle have a room renting. So I confronted Miss Bogle.
Where's the room that you were renting to her? In an apartment that you rent?
Actually, it's my apartment. I had a 2-bedroom.
Okay, and you have a lease on that apartment?
Yes.
And then you can bring whatever roommate you want in there?
Yes, correct.
All right, and just one other roommate, just her?
And her daughter.
And her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you agree upon a price?
Yes, because when she said it was both of them, I said, okay, you have to pay $175 because I have to cut 2 sets of keys.
Okay, and you agree?
I agree at first on that, yes, Judge.
Okay, and then how much do you pay her?
Well, it wasn't like that, Judge. There was a change in it.
Okay.
I was supposed to pay her on the Friday of February 18th. On that Friday, I'd broken my leg at home. I have a domestic violence in my house. I've broken my leg. The guy had slashed my 3 tires outside on my car. I got my paycheck that Saturday. I called her into my home to let her know my ankle is broken. I have to go to DSS now to look for help because I had lost one of my jobs. I don't have enough income at this time.
Okay.
So I bring her in my old apartment to explain everything to her because I want to make sure she agreed with DSS.
Right. With DSS, what's DSS?
DSS is social services.
Okay.
That will help you, disability. So when she came into my home, she bring the old friend Andy with her. While we were talking, we decided that the rent is going to be $650 per month because her girlfriend told her that DSS is not going to take rent weekly. Okay, she said okay. So because I already put some of my stuff in the apartment, on that Thursday, I gave her $180. I said, Icoli, please hold on to this. She said, I said, do you agree with DSS? She said, yes, Rose, everything is good. I went to DSS before. I know what it is. But I actually take my money and went home. She called me her boyfriend called me that night. He said, Rose, this wasn't the agreement we had made. I'm not going through DSS with this room. I said, well, please tell Ms. Bogle for me that I'll collect my money from her on the following Sunday plus my stuff. This Sunday, I text Ms. Bogle. So she would text me back, and I text her to tell her I'll be there Monday morning between 12 and 1.
Did you go there Monday morning between 12 and 1?
She told me that she was at a friend's house. When she come there, she'll call me. I never heard from her until about, I think maybe 3 that day or something later up in the evening. So I couldn't get the stuff now when I heard from her.
Have you ever gotten your stuff?
I got my stuff about the Thursday or the Friday.
Okay, and then did you ever get the money back?
No, I don't.
And the reason she told you that she wasn't going to give you your money back was what?
She had me going there several times with different van men. I got there like about 3 different times with different van men. She didn't show up. I was on a broken leg. I keep going there.
Okay. Ms. Bogle, let me hear your version.
She said, well, she have a little problem. She's in the hospital because her daughter's boyfriend broke her leg and beat up her daughter. So that's how the problem got. She didn't give me no money. This lady did not give me no money.
What do you mean she didn't give you
She didn't give me any money. She said she did not have any money to give to me because her tires were slashed up.
Wait, on that Friday, she didn't give you $180?
She did not give me no money.
So why is she saying that she gave you money?
I don't know.
So do landlords typically demand money before they do the credit check and whatnot, before they say the apartment's yours?
No, usually you give a deposit or money after you sign the lease.
When you sign the lease. Anybody think that you do it before? Is it custom to do it before?
I don't think so, no.
So typically you do it once they say the apartment's yours?
Yes.
Got it. Going inside the courtroom.
She's been harassing me, ringing down my doorbells and all of that. Because of her.
Did you refuse to give her stuff back?
No. I'm not going to be home every day to wait for her to come for her stuff. I told her, she said, DSS is coming by 9. I waited for her. She never came. I have stuff to do. I'm not going to stay home and wait for her. And
How long did you wait?
I don't even remember. But I waited and I left.
20 seconds?
No, about an hour. And I left.
What evidence do you have that you handed her $180?
Your Honor, I have the text here that she texted me that says her boyfriend have the money. She will
hand it over. Stop talking and hand it over. Who's Suzanne?
That's her. That's the name I got. That she was Suzanne.
Is that a nickname or something?
Suzanne, yeah.
Let's see. She texts you, Suzanne, don't bother. Let we have any problem. Things wasn't like this when I was giving you my last $180 I have in my name just to hold the room for me until I get the Department of Social Services, where I know for sure that they would have paid the remainder of the money for me to get. I'm the room, but then you change on me. This is exactly what she testifies to. So please let me know what time today I can pick the money up. Your response is off and leave me alone. I'm going to lick you up for harassing me, lady. You don't say what $180. Mm-hmm. Why don't you? Because you're a liar?
I didn't lie. She didn't give me no money. I don't have
Well, then why are you in the text? Are you? Oh, who's threatening to call immigration on who?
She wants to call
I told her she don't leave me alone. I am going to call immigration on her and her daughter. Because she's harassing me.
I think she gave you the $180, seeing as that's how the texts kind of look. Let me ask you a question, though. What's the other 50 about?
The other 50, I took several times. I have to take several. She keeps saying she's going to be there an hour. She's at her friend. One of the texts says she's in Manhattan.
Well, this one's even better. I'm downtown. Joy, is that what she called you? Why don't any of you use your real...
Joy, yes, my friend.
Where'd she get Joy
that's
from?
What she told me her name was Joy.
My friend told her my name was Joy.
No, you told me.
And why are you using Suzanne if your name's Icoli?
Because that's a pet. I'm Jamaican. In Jamaica, we have pet names.
Okay, Joy, I'm downtown, almost uptown, okay? I'm going to be home in about an hour time. Hutchie, have the money. So what, Judge? You caught me. Hutchie have the money. I give it to him because he's the one that paying my rent, $1,300 every month. So when me get home, I will call you and you can come because this is a waste of time. No truer words were ever spoken. Pay the lady $230 verdicts for the plaintiff. Because if I don't believe you about the money, I don't believe you about her showing up when she wants without an appointment.
Hold on right there, please.
Well, let's see how you're going to get it.
Well, so here comes the defendant right out into the hallway here. Turn around here. Tell me, how did that look?
Even when the judge said pay her, she's not getting no money.
Why?
Because she's not getting no money.
Why not?
Because I don't have it.
Because you don't have it. Mm-hmm. So you have the texts, and that pretty much proves your case. Slam
my
shut.
case, and I'm happy for what the judge did today. I've gone through so much with this lady over the period of time. She threatens me. She curses me. Oh, thank God for the ruling today.
Mm-hmm. Threatens you how?
She told me she's gonna hit me, she's gonna kick me, she's gonna call immigration on me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, because I'm a permanent resident in this country. I'm a hardworking lady.
So that's an empty threat then?
That's an empty threat.
Right. Over to Harvey.
Okay, by the way, when you threaten somebody to call immigration unless they end the dispute your way, that, my friends, is called extortion, and it will get you in big trouble.